And once we're back to our website here, we have a block 2.2.3, and we just have one block within it, which is kind of unnecessary unless we want to put other blocks in here side by side. So we could delete just this layout here, 2.2.3. So we click on this little red X here and we click Delete Layout Only. And when our page refreshes, we should not see that block anymore, and block 4 should be in right below block 3. So as you can see here, we've just deleted just the layout only, and now all we have is block 2.1, 2, and 3 with our number blocks in it. There's no space here. The layout manager block is gone. We've deleted it. But let's say we no longer need this layout manager number 1 up here, and we don't need these 3 blocks within it, because maybe we're going to put a graphic block here and that'll be the header of our website. So we can click on this little red X here for block 1, layout manager, and we can say we want to delete blocks. We basically want to delete everything, so we're going to click delete blocks. And when the page refreshes, the layout manager and all of its blocks are gone. We've completely removed that entire layout manager and all of its blocks. So all we have left now is just our second example of layout managers nested, and it's now, and you can see that as we delete blocks and different things like that, the numbers change. So this is now block 1 instead of 2, and this is 1.1 instead of 2.1, and so on. And again, understanding the number sequencing is one of the key things to using layout manager blocks and being effective with them and maintaining your website. So that's one caution, is you just want to make sure you understand deleting and removing layout managers. The second caution is with form builder blocks. And although we haven't gone over any form builder blocks within this webinar, in the past we have. And what you want to try not to do with form builder blocks is use layout manager blocks. The problem with that is that it sometimes disables certain features within the form builder. If you have a form builder block and you wanted to make certain parts of that form secure, or make part of the form so that the information is required, if you use a layout manager block around certain parts of the form, it will remove some of that functionality. So it's an important thing to remember with form builder blocks. You don't want to use any layouts within there unless you don't need some of the functionality that you can set within forms. And then the very last caution is too much of a good thing is a bad thing, and that is too much nesting can be very bad. While the layout manager is a good tool, it really shouldn't be overused, and some people get into great trouble trying to create the layout they want and end up with dozens of layout manager blocks when they could probably accomplish the same thing with 2 or 3 layout managers. And one of the things, too, that you might notice if you start getting with layout managers block is you might end up with block numbers that are just really long. Right now, we've only been dealing with block 1 and 1.1 and 1.2.1 and so on. But you could really have, with so many layout managers, you could have a block 1.1, 0.3, 0.7, 0.6, 0.4, 0.1, and so on. And so you just really want to make sure that you don't overdo it, and just use the very necessities that you need. If you built your site and you just take a look at it and you notice that, oh, I really don't need some of these layout managers, just remove some of those layout managers and or try to do some of what you've already done without layout managers and different things like that. And it just helps it in organization and managing your website, because one of the things we don't want to do is we don't want to take an easy tool and overcomplicate it so it's not easy anymore, because as a business owner, it can be very frustrating and very easy to not want to do this if it's too complicated. And so to make your life a little easier and not to overcomplicate it, we don't want to do too many, or we don't want to use too many layout managers. And so that ends our cautions for using and working with layout managers. And so I'm just going to follow up everything that we've covered. We've covered some of the basics of Page Builder. We've covered adding blocks by clicking on this green plus sign. We've covered editing blocks by clicking on this little pencil edit icon. Saving a page when you're done. This file drop down at the top left here, save. This page layout feature, which is very nice with working with layouts because it shows us our layout and then all the blocks that are within that particular layout. And so it kind of shows us what's within a layout and what's not. We have covered the basics of layout manager blocks, adding them and how to select their layout style. We could actually change this block 1 layout style to rows pretty quickly and very easily and change the whole structure of this page. And maybe we want to change this one here to rows now or to columns. And so just by changing those 2 layout manager blocks, I've completely changed the whole structure of this page very quickly and very easily. We've covered all of the features within the layout manager block. We've covered the layout style, the backgrounds, which again is the background behind the layout manager, which is the entire layout manager, so all of the blocks within it. Padding, which is the space between the blocks and the border of the layout manager. Borders. Block options, which shows you all of the blocks within the layout manager, allows you to set a width, the alignment, and the background features. Borders and space between the blocks and padding within the blocks, these are for the individual blocks. CSS and inserting a blank line. We've showed you examples of nested layout managers, and as you can see here, it's one layout manager that goes around this entire thing with another layout manager within it that has blocks within it and so on. And we've showed you some examples and some cautions. Again, to go over the cautions, when you're deleting layout manager blocks, make sure that you know what you're deleting. Are you deleting just the layout and keeping all the blocks within it, or are you deleting everything, the blocks and the layout manager? And using too many layout managers can be a bad thing. Try to keep it simple. Try to keep it organized and not use too many. And try not to use the layout managers within form builder blocks. And this is really the key to laying out and building your fancy or dream site and being able to make sure that it's laid out well and that it looks good and starting out on the web and with a website. So this concludes our Easy Layout Manager webinar, and if you have any questions, we'll go ahead and move on to Bruce now and go from there.
Okay, I'd like to take back control, and we will go into a question and answer session. So let me go back to that. Okay, I've got one question from Cheryl. Let me unmute your phone here, Cheryl. Yes, Cheryl, go ahead. Can you hear me there, Cheryl? Okay, I guess she does not have a capability to speak on her phone. So, Cheryl, if you're there, go ahead and type a question in, or if anyone else has a question, go ahead and just type it into the question box, and we will be happy to answer any questions that you may have. So if you'd like to just raise your hand, I'll unmute your microphone. So looks like we don't have any questions, Tyler. You must have done a really good job, or everyone's asleep, one or the other. So, so we'll go ahead and wrap up our webinar today. If you do have any questions, we'd sure be happy for you to give us a call. Give us a call to our technical support. The number is 208-356-8361, or you can email us at support@EZ-NetTools.net, and we would certainly be happy to take care of you, anything we do. Oh, looks like we do have one more question. How do you add links to images? Can you answer that, Tyler?
Yes, I can. Within the graphic block, and I don't know, do we have time to show them visually, or?
I think we're just wrapping it up here, so
okay.
If you could give us a quick answer.
Well, if you're working with images, you have what's called a graphic block, And within the graphic block is a link section, and there is two options here that you can do for linking to a website or to a larger image or so on. The first one is a browse feature that opens up a browse window that allows you to link to any one of your pages that are on your account or any of your pictures or different things like that. And then the other feature is you can actually just copy and paste or type in the link manually into the link box, and you would want to make sure you use http:// and then your two forward slashes, but you can essentially type in www.EZ-NetTools.net if you wanted to link to EZ-NetTools, or Microsoft.com, and so on. So those are the two ways that you could link an image to another page or to another file or different things like that.
Okay, thank you, Tyler. We'll go ahead and wrap up this webinar. We'd like to thank everyone for coming. We have recorded this webinar, but we will repeat it again next week. And so if you'd like to come back to this same webinar, we'll record it again, and we'll actually put that one up on EZ-Net University. And we're just starting to get those up there. I believe yesterday and the day before I put up our first webinar, the basics of EZ Page Builder, or EZ Page Builder Basics. So if you haven't taken a look at that, you'd like to go back and watch that, that's our first one up, and we'll be getting the other ones up there hopefully in the next few weeks. So thanks for coming today. We hope you have a great day. Glad to be here to share this information with you, and look forward to future webinars. Also on EZ-Net University, you'll be able to go through and see the entire schedule that we've got set up of upcoming webinars. We're starting to flesh that in as well. You can register for some of them now, and we'll be scheduling the additional webinars. But I think we've got 2 months worth of webinars laid out there, so you can go see what's coming up in the future. So thanks for coming today. We appreciate you too, Tyler. So thanks for being with us. We'd like to wish everyone a great day. Thank you. Bye.